Hey everyone, welcome back to another Explainer. Today, we're diving into some really fascinating source material. We actually untangled what started out as a pretty garbled auto transcript from a motivational health and fitness video, but once we cleaned it up, wow, it revealed a crystal clear, 6-part daily blueprint for building natural energy, raw physical confidence, and just absolute vitality. It lays out this chronological, step-by-step routine that you can literally start using right away.
So it all begs the core question, right? How do you actually build natural energy, confidence, and physical vitality? And no, we are not talking about chugging endless cups of coffee or relying on temporary fixes. We're looking at a completely structured, perfect day routine. According to our source material, the secret is all about stacking very specific, actionable habits from the absolute second you open your eyes until your head hits the pillow.
Here's the roadmap for our explainer today. We're going to cover 1. The superhero morning routine, 2. Activating natural energy, 3. Fueling for hormonal health, and finally, 4. Deep recovery and sleep.
Let's jump right into part 1, the superhero morning routine.
Okay, so the blueprint kicks off by emphasizing that the very first things you do, well, they completely set the energetic tone for the rest of your day. It's all about waking the system up. And the source actually uses 2 really fun pop culture metaphors to categorize these morning habits, what it calls the Iron Man body versus the Captain America body. It basically sets up this visual contrast between internal hydration and external cold exposure. Let's break down exactly what these superhero habits actually look like.
First up, the Iron Man body habit. The source defines this as drinking a glass of lemon water with just a pinch of sugar every single day. The logic here is, well, it's incredibly straightforward, but this daily glass instantly kickstarts your internal systems. It's specifically cited as a massive driver for producing sustained, natural energy right out of the gate, while also giving you healthy, glowing skin. Think of it as your immediate internal fuel.
Next, we pair that internal hydration with an external shock, the Captain America body. And yep, this involves taking cold showers. Which, look, let's be honest, is never fun. But it brilliantly illustrates the blueprint's focus on physiological shifts. The cold water does so much heavy lifting here. It relaxes your muscles, massively boosts your alertness, raises testosterone, and sharpens your focus. And even better, the shock of the cold literally stops overthinking in its tracks. It just snaps you right into the present moment.
All right, moving on to section 2, activating natural energy. So now that we're awake and hydrated, the blueprint shifts our attention to the mid-morning. You absolutely have to step into the morning light. Getting out into the sunlight, especially early in the day, isn't just some nice wellness suggestion. According to the text, it is a fundamental biological trigger that's basically required for the rest of this blueprint to actually work.
Let's look at why that sunlight is just so absolutely critical. The source highlights vitamin D as the major player here. By getting that early sun, the vitamin D your body synthesizes directly impacts your hormonal health. Specifically, it boosts testosterone. But it doesn't stop there. It also increases serotonin, which totally elevates your mood and keeps your mental focus razor sharp all day long. It's essentially a cascading effect triggered just by standing outside.
Once you've got your sunlight, you've got to pair it with action. You must engage in physical movement. Now, the blueprint is actually really flexible on how you do this. It lists hitting the gym, doing push-ups, knocking out some squats, or honestly, even just going for a walk. The specific method matters way less than the simple fact that you are getting your body moving.
The main benefits of this physical movement are twofold. First, literally any form of physical activity successfully raises those testosterone levels, so you're continuing to build on the hormonal optimization that we started with the cold showers and the morning sun. Second, it drastically improves your total body blood circulation, which effectively delivers all that natural energy and oxygen straight to your brain and muscles.
That brings us to section 3, fueling for hormonal health.
Okay, we've optimized the morning, we've moved the body, now we have to talk about what you're putting into it. The specific dietary component from our source material is what we are calling the protein and zinc diet. The text focuses really heavily on consuming foods that are packed with these 2 exact nutrients to sustain your energy all the way through the afternoon. If you're looking for the exact power foods recommended by the source material, here is your shopping list. Eggs, yogurt, paneer, rajma, which is kidney beans, sprouts, and pumpkin seeds. Honestly, what I love about this list is just how accessible it is. We aren't talking about rare, super expensive supplements here. These are whole, everyday foods. But why these foods specifically? Well, the source text notes that these items were selected to do 3 really important things. They optimize your protein intake, they actively work to reduce bad cholesterol, and, crucially for this blueprint, they provide massive support for your overall hormonal health. This makes sure that all the testosterone and energy-boosting work you did earlier in the day isn't just wasted.
Finally, we enter Section 4, Deep Recovery and Sleep.
We've reached the end of the day, where the focus shifts entirely away from action. Quality sleep is what actually restores the body. The source places a huge emphasis on this. Think about it. All the hard work you did today, the cold showers, the movement, the diet, it all requires deep, quality sleep to actually facilitate physical repair. Plus, this is when your testosterone levels are heavily restored and regulated. Simply put, if you cheat your sleep, you cheat the entire system.
But getting to sleep isn't always easy, right? Especially when you've had this highly active, energized day. So the blueprint introduces the concept that you must intentionally calm your racing thoughts before you even get into bed. You can't just hit the pillow and expect to power down like a robot. You need a protocol to transition your brain.
And here is the exact protocol derived right from the source text, the 4-7-8 breathing technique. It's basically a physiological trick to force your nervous system to relax. Let's actually do a quick round of this right now. Ready? Inhale deeply through your nose for 4 seconds. Okay, now hold that breath for 7 seconds. And finally, exhale slowly and completely for 8 seconds. Doing this just a few times before bed drastically lowers your heart rate and gets you perfectly prepped for that deep, restorative sleep.
So, to bring it all together for our explainer today, stacking these habits builds the absolute ultimate foundation for physical vitality. From the lemon water and cold shower in the morning, to the sunlight and movement, fueled by that protein and zinc diet, and finally anchored by intentional, deep sleep. Chaining these 6 specific daily habits together literally creates an undeniable blueprint for natural energy.
Which brings us to our final thought, and honestly, a bit of a challenge for you as we wrap up. Which heroic habit are you going to start tomorrow morning? You absolutely do not have to do all 6 at once. Pick just one. Maybe it's the cold shower. Maybe it's stepping into the morning light. Just choose one to implement tomorrow and start building your own foundation for absolute vitality. Thanks so much for learning with me today, and I'll catch you in the next explainer.